And a lot of white shirts were around that play as they read it.
George on fire here in the first half with 18.
You're happy with this because, you know, the offense is working. The defense is making things happen. But boy, look at this here. 3 white shirts.
Off the backboard. And Grant with the exclamation.
Nicely done by Dennis Schroeder. Now Adams getting back. Here come the Thunder with numbers. Schroeder drops it off. George elevates and detonates here in Oklahoma.
Oh, you picked up on that.
Yeah. Just didn't have time. George got fouled. Count it. Paul George for the possible 4 points. Hazonia got the loose ball, but it was knocked away by Ferguson. They hit ahead to Patterson. The lob. George. Oh, what a play. Patterson, the feed was impeccable.
Stay there and don't move until the shot actually hits the rim. And he might not think it doesn't mean much, but
that's the way I'm going to play this. Unless it's a 3 like that. And again, you got to tip your hat. That's all you can do. Yeah. I mean, that's that.
I just want to win. I'm happy to come off the bench. Well, maybe happy is a strong word, but he was willing. He was willing. As George gets it, and he'll go to the line for a 3-point opportunity. Durant blocked. Diallo swaps Durant. Tried to go behind the back. It ends up in the hands of George. Reverse.
You take it and you run. Jeremy Lamb, there's a turnover. Good pressure on the ball. Paul George waits, hesitates to the rim, and goes above the rim. And the rebound to Murray, but George intercepts the pass. Knifing his way, avoids Jokic and score.
Malik Beasley taking that.
Schroeder navigating around. George left open, that 3. That's going to rattle home. And Paul George and the Thunder got it down to 6. That front court of Atlanta.
Man, that's what you want to see, you know, over here. High turnover out front.
George with the stop.
Stanley trying to overplay Paul George. George gets by him for a jam.
Good thing just for an easy look for the Nets. Some ball movement. They only got off 6 field goal attempts in the fourth prior to that.
Paul George soaring high for the Thunder.
So it's Terrence Ferguson guarding Mitchell, who turns it over, throws it right to Paul in transition, and Paul is able to finish. 28% of the game. As George dances, hand in the face, doesn't matter. Another Pierce shot right. Now Westbrook had it blocked, I believe, by Favors, but there's Steven Adams saving it from going out of bounds. George, boy, he is on fire from downtown. 5 for 5 for Paul.
Alex Abrinas on the floor. George was trying to draw contact. There wasn't any, but he buried the shot.
George takes it strong, soars to the rim for the slam.
Ferguson and his couple fouls are back in. Thunder stays down defensively. George gets behind the pack and soars for the flush.
It was a pass as Wendell Carter Jr. tried to get it over the top.
Uh-oh.
Good. And they're not getting a stop there. That's Paul George.
George on the step back. Continues to feel it. This time, it's from downtown. Aric floats it up. That bounces off the back of the rim as the Thunder inching closer up ahead. George soars and throws it down.
With the Lorenzo Williams reference. You can get the production from all on that. Oh, Paul George.
And again, Marcus, it's the bounce passes that are too slow to get through the in this quarter.
Look at Paul George too, Mike.
Oh, beautiful pass, and George with the slam.
And I think, 19,000 agree with me.
George takes the bump, and they're going to give him the continuation. They will. Counted him.
You got to think Paul George has to get a touch at some point, and he does. The 3 ball quickly, got it, and one! My George! Paul on the job! Incredible!
Come off that. Here he comes off the screen, and then he goes up right away. You say.
George slithering, bounces, fades, and got it to go. McCollum had it knocked away and a steal by George. George got away from everybody and detonates at the rim.
Him that space. You close out on him hard, it's going to be a problem.
George tracks it down after it right through his hands and splashes home that corner. Thunder have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA. Deep attempt, good for George. He's got 5 3. Here's George, puts it on the floor, gets past 2 guys, stuffs it on the freak. George, they double him on the catch. Timer at 5. Against Brogdon, puts it up, hits it. 34 for Paul George.
Is open for that rebound. George weaving through traffic for the two-handed slam.
Steals. 10-point Thunder lead. George knifing down the lane. Oh, the nifty move on the left hand. Is way off. As Noel has to save that pass. Setting up another George tray. And he bounds away. Another one from down.
In and takes it right out of his hands. Throws it ahead to George. George slams it home. And there's, again, OKC their best defensively when they forced the turnover.
For the Blazers, but leading going into the fourth quarter. As George slips his way and throws it down. Going for its 4th consecutive win. 11 out of the last 12 games. George, the hesitation, takes the bump, and it drops in.
Although we did see, as I mentioned, last year, some fouls called, some steals, steal right here, George off the backboard, and now I know we're at an all-star game as Giannis is able to put it. George getting the pick, Harden switches over, there's George on a fadeaway 3.
Yes! Or a shot, it ends up being Thunderball anyway, and a breakaway for George, and a stop!
How about that overtime game? 3 minutes left, down 2, and you go with
Thunder down 1, have a timeout. They're not going to use it. George with 5. George drives over Gobert. It's good with 8/10 of a second left to give the Thunder a 1-point lead. Timeout, Utah.
Drop.
Murray can't get that one to fall. And I'm interested to see this matchup because that would look personal. That looked like he had some anger. Paul George gets one to go there off the steal in trend.
Little hesitation move, he threw it away, lost it. 3-on-1 the other way. Paul George took the hit and won.
7 times this year they've shot below 40%. They've lost them all, and that is a basket and a foul as George scores. Westbrook directs traffic. Bogdanovich guarding George. He's hit 5 threes tonight and hits his 6th.
He's always got the Thunder off to a good start when he gets those early touches.
George flies all the way to the rim and throws it down.
College actually didn't go to college, but had a reputation as a bit of a proficient shooter. George with the steal. On the run, whistle, block, and one. Get a good 2-for-1 opportunity. Doesn't have to be a 3. George over Leonard, yes! Oh, wow! George going to work here. Physical against Matthews. And 1. Count it! McDermott trying to guard him. Off glass and good. Paul George.
Well, they got the switch they want.
You wonder how much energy Denver's going to have. Nice pass. George climbs the ladder and scores with George. Tough step back three. Splashes home for Paul George. Much needed. His first.
But Lakers with the handle on the basketball. And it's thrown away. They lead in steals. This guy right there leads the NBA in steals.
Glass for Steven Adams. You look at Steven Adams' numbers over the last 3 games, 20 and 10, being more aggressive. And this team can get steals and turn defense into offense.
Russell Westbrook, #1 in the NBA in assists per game this year, as George hits a 3 and a foul.
Trying to invite shot and take away the drive.
Westbrook hands to George, pivots, looks from the elbow, got it, and the Thunder take the lead.
he wins that battle. And here you see the space CJ's giving Westbrook. They're trying to invite shot, take away the drive. But now once Paul George gets it.